Now let's just track through, starting in verse 11. Let me remind you of God's eternal plan. Each believer in their ministry is to be offering this worshipful ministry to the Lord. Verse 11, God has a plan to spread His truth, and He sends those gifted to declare and teach His truth. Remember that the elders that are sitting around you, the Bible says that they are gifts to the church. He gave some to be pastors and teachers. They didn't just show up and decide, this sounds good to me, I'll try it out. They actually were called and gifted and were given to this church. Pastors are given to the church as teachers of the truth of God as a gift from the Lord. And that's what verse 11 says, and that's His plan. Verse 12, God's plan is for every individual saint to be trained in living and sharing the truth with other saints. You see the equipping and edifying right there. That is what discipleship is all about. Discipleship is learning how to do that, teaching others how to do it. Learning how to do it, teaching others how to do it. It's not a manual. It's a lifestyle that focuses on the sanctifying work of God. In my life, and as I see it work, I share it with you. And as you see it work, you share it with me. That's God's plan, that we be interdependent, codependent upon His Word and a ministry to each other. Verse 13, we must keep the focus on our mission. Our mission is to come to the unity of the faith, to have this soundness of faith. We have to focus on that, not the bumps along the way. The goal is to have all equipped to disciple others in the truth. You can measure a church's progress by how many more people are equipped, how many more people are edified, and you know that they are because they start reaching out into the lives of others. They start just taking that moment to minister the Word. Now, look at verse 14. That we be no longer children tossed to and fro. The concept there is, without fellow believers equipping and edifying us, the work doesn't get done. Believers are weakened by sin because they're just sitting there spinning their tires. They're off the road and they're just, I can smell it. I grew up in the north. I can smell rubber. You can tell someone that doesn't know how to drive their car. They're just spinning their tires there. And that's what you smell when you come to church. You smell all these spinning tires. Why? Because people are just showing sympathy, but they don't reach out and push and help that person who is off the road spiritually. Without fellow believers equipping and edifying us, the work doesn't get done. Believers get weaker and weaker by sin, and the church stagnates. It's just go through the motions. Pretty soon the whole church is spinning its tires. We never know everything as believers, but everyone can know enough of the truth to walk in the Spirit and equip and edify someone else. Everyone, because God promised that. Well, Ephesians 4 then clearly teaches us the key to keeping believers from being tossed about in life is to train them in healthy faith. And only when believers are on the path of being grounded in sound faith and growing into disciple makers can we be what God designed us to be. If you're sitting around saying, I'm just waiting to know what I'm supposed to be doing, then you ought to spend the whole week, keep reading Ephesians 4:11 onward until you figure out, I see myself right there. I am supposed to be doing that. And as soon as you do that, all you have to do is just tip your head up and say, okay, Lord, if that's what I'm supposed to do, you promised me you'd give me the grace to do it. And all of a sudden, you'll just find yourself in whatever relationships you are, either building up your partner if you're in marriage, building up your children or your parents if you're in a family setting, building up your employer and employees if you're in that setting, or all of the above. You will find yourself reading the Bible every day, getting a truth that changes your life and strengthens you, and sharing it in love to others.